Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous one, and today we're going to look at vibes, energy flow, the way the wind blows, energy, the movement of energy, and how it affects us, how we are a part of it, how we look at it, and how we use it is entirely up to us. Energy is all around us. When you breathe in and out, that's energy. When you take a step, that's energy. When the wind blows in your hair, that's energy flow. And this energy flow is something that we're going to have to realize that it's there in order to utilize it for our benefit. And so this is the kind of critical thinking that we teach at African Americans Ain't Africans. But what I want to do with the energy, I just want to show you how it flows through different people. So different people are getting, they're starting to see things differently, especially the young folks. And all you have to do, and if it's a baby, the younger that they are, and you teach them things, they'll figure out things that hadn't been figured out yet. This is how powerful we are. And when we come here as children, this is how awesome we are. And for some reason, we don't seem to want to utilize that energy. We're going to share with you today. And, hopefully you can use, it's simple. You are a part of this life cycle. There's a old, no, I'm not going to even say it's old because it's not, my bad. There's a song that used to be played in this was when the community was called Black at the time. There was a song that was huge popular, and the song went, "People make the world go round." If you heard that song, and like a lot of those songs back in those days, those songs were giving us messages. Those songs were telling us things. A whole lot of music then, but when they were saying people make the world go round, what they were basically saying is people are an integral part of the earth. And when you ever think about what it would be like if people weren't here, not what somebody said, not what somebody taught you in the school, have you actually sat down yourself and thought about it? See, that's what I mean. We're an integral part. Your thoughts matter too. Your ideas matter. Your wishes count. Everything about you count. It just isn't what somebody says. What do you say? You have a country, you have a nation full of people who don't say nothing. People can just do whatever they want and they just have to take it. Well, that's why I want to share with you guys tonight. I wanted to share with you some different ideas that are coming from the young people. And all you have to do is go to African Americans Ain't Africans on Facebook, and the stories are right there. The videos are right there. I don't want to play them now. I just want to we just talk about them so you can go and see, so you can see what I'm saying. And these people are getting it. These young people are getting it because they're not getting any information, from the schools, from the churches, from the house. They're getting their information from social media. And you have some voices in social media that are kicking ass. And y'all know it. They got some brothers and sisters out here in social media that are just asking simple questions. Simple questions. And so the people that's been telling you all this bullshit all these years, they don't have no answers. See, that's what you're seeing. That's the cover up now. All these people who's been in media and all these people that's been telling uh, indigenous people here just this bullshit to keep it going, they're starting to figure it out now. And that's great because there's no need for us to keep sending our children down these rabbit holes that lead to nowhere. So I want to share a few of those stories with you. And please go to African Americans Ain't Africans on Facebook and check these stories out. And these are at the top. You know how Facebook works. They work, anytime somebody's sending something, what was sent before goes down a notch. But it's late night, not that many people are up, so you guys will see these stories. The first story is about this sister. She's asking a question, and I'm gonna ask you guys the same questions too, and just share your answers. The sister says, now she's a young sister. She looked like she's about 25. She asked a question that is brilliant. She says, why is it when we say we want to have our own, whatever part of town you want to call it, we're always prejudiced. We always want to be separate and blah, blah, blah. But she says, she's in Los Angeles at the time, but she says, she says this like she travels. But she said, when I go to LA, I see Koreatown. Everything's written in Korean. I'm not Korean. I can't read that. You got a Chinatown. You got East LA where everything is in Spanish. You got an Indian town, Little Somalia. All these separate places. But if we say we want a separate place, we're being whatever nonsense they use. We're being prejudiced. And the reason they say that is because simply you're the money. Because see, you don't even go support your own places. The so-called black dollar does not stay there. The black people will go. I know brothers that go and eat in Koreatown every day. This is what we do. And then we try to act like we're not doing it when it's exactly what we are doing it. And these youngsters are picking that up. How come we don't have a place where we grow our own food that would create jobs? Why don't we have our own industries? Everybody else come to our country and create their own industries, but we don't. And we think it's cool. We think we can go buy everybody's alcohol. I know people who got more foreign alcohol in their house than they got stuff that they made themselves and their families for all these years combined. That's the African American, right or wrong. So why is it that all these nations can come over and set up their own little wherever they're from, but you're called all kind of names if you set up something? It's because you're the money. This is why you're called African American. This is why you're called black. This is why you're called all these names, to put you in certain categories, to chop you up from each other, to make you feel like your group is better than that group. The African American group is better than the black group. So here we're going to market this to the African Americans. Well, the black people will take this. We'll market this to them. We'll market this to the Negro. There's a cold video out. You got to see it. What is it? How to Sell the Negro. It's made in about the 1950s. Pull it up. They are telling the world how to market to you because you're the majority of people in America. I know you, they told you you was the minority. No, you're not. Simple question. And if you see that you can answer the question to let us know. If you don't have no answer, then don't say anything. Because all that does is keep up confusion. It really does. Where do you go in the world? And the indigenous people are the smallest number of people there. Where do you go in the world? And the indigenous people are the lowest number of people there. Answer that question and then get back with me. Because this is how we're trained. This is how we act. You're the majority of people here. Everybody come. That's why there's so many millionaires and billionaires here. They get you. They don't. You don't sell nothing to nobody. That's what the so-called Black Wall Street was about. See, you start taking care of yourself, and everybody was coming to you. Everybody comes to you all the time. Why? Because you are the soul people. People can't help but want to come to you because you're fun. You're not in that white supremacist attitude, want to beat and kill her. I mean, well, you're getting like that now. But everybody wants to come buy from you because they know you know what you're talking about. When who used to sell fish in the community? They came to you. Was talking to a sister one time. She said, well, how do I know if my people are indigenous? I said, ask your parents. She went to ask her parents, and her father told her that he used to fish without a fishing pole. I said, who does that sound like? This is how close the information is to us, but we want to run and grab somebody else's history. We want to run and grab somebody else's ideology. Okay. So the sister asked, where's our, and that's a question that I'm handing off to y'all. Where's our stuff? They have one of my neighbors is taking orders for Girl Scout cookies. And she asked me that I want to buy some. I said, are sisters competing with Girl Scout cookies? Man, she looked at me like she wanted to kill me. Simple question. Sisters making you know, can we do that? We get cussed out when we ask the question. So the next story, this is a cold one because I've been in this one before. Jason Atkins sends this story. The sister who sent the first story, a brother named David Clark shared this story about the sister who asked, where's all our stuff? The next story is from a brother named David Atkins. And Detroit grocery store accused of selling spoiled food. I mean, that's normal. We'll eat anything anyway, won't we? Because we don't care enough to produce our own food. See, this is where we start to look like fools when we go out in the world and complain about how we treat it. You don't even think it's cool to Feed yourself. What are you talking about? We don't eat rotten meat. Yes, you do. You do eat rotten meat. This is the first picture you see. It's an older brother. Look like he's about 50, 55, 60, standing out, holding up a sign. That embarrassing thing we picked up for the civil rights movement, walking with signs. What is that? What? We don't eat rotten meat. This is how the Negro is. This is how he's trained to be this way, to always have a sign begging. But every dime he gets, he puts into a foreigner's pocket. None goes to help build his community. None. These are what these young folks are seeing, y'all. So they're going to be asking you questions soon. Hope you had answers for them. Detroit grocery store accused of selling spoiled meat. This is where I came into the spoiled meat thing. I was in Compton, California, and I'm in this store called Food for Less. And notice the names of the stores they call these stores. Food for Less. There was this one brother here said something today. Save a lot. Save a lot. These are the stores that they name to sell you food. And a lot of it is that old, that other stores got to get off the shelf. So they bring them to your community because they know you'll eat anything. And most of y'all, if you're honest, yeah, damn. I'm in this store and and I get in line right behind this brother, and this brother got 3 baskets full of meat. And I'm like, oh man, what you barbecuing this week? And this brother goes on to tell me how this store has been selling, this is in Compton, has been selling rotten meat to this community for the past 20 years. And he don't live there no more, but every time traffic is bad, he stops by and pulls out all the meat out of the freezer. And all of it's always rotten. And he just takes it up to the front of the counter and throws it on the counter and leaves. He say, but when the meat is frozen, you can't smell it. So that, yeah, we do eat rotten meat because we don't produce our own. How come we're not eating squirrels? How come we're not eating the indigenous animals that run around America and we eat anything from anywhere else? You honestly think you eating orange chicken? You really believe that? Most people do. Most people do. These people that are coming from these foreign places normally brings their food with them. You would look for your food when you go to another country. They bring their food with you and they serve you what they eat. And you don't know what you're getting. This is the African American. So in a grocery store in Detroit, Michigan, they're selling spoiled food to the African American. And the brother Jason he said, hey, it may be illegal, but we shouldn't be dependent on them for food. We shouldn't be dependent on nobody for food. But we do, and so this is what they do, because they know that. We depend on them for food. And it's not important to us. That don't matter. So these young people who are sharing these stories, what I'm saying basically is this. That old way that we used to do stuff and think, and that shit is playing out. It's playing out. These these young people are starting to see that what is this civil rights generation that's sitting down, because I have them all. Ask your people, your grandparents about the civil rights movement, and they all say it was a damn joke. How can they say that? Because now they know at the civil rights movement, it wasn't that many Asians over here. It wasn't that many Europeans over here. It wasn't that many Mexicans here. It was a lot of them, because Mexico is right, is, you know, it's America. You really can't do that if the border's right there. Mexico is part of of America. Just because somebody come draws a line through somebody, through the land, don't make that's not it. We don't get that. That's another reason how we're trained. We stay colored in the lines. We think only what other people tell us to think, right or wrong. Right. That's how we do it. Another story. And if you go look at this story, if you go look at this story, and read the comments. Read what the people in the comment section are saying. Because see, everybody experienced this. Even some of you people who are listening tonight may have experienced this. You know they serve you garbage in these grocery stores. Why? Because you can't raise your own cows or whatever you're going to eat. You can't have a deer farm. You don't think of that. You don't get land and have fish pond. We're not into that. We don't raise rabbits. North American rabbit, that would be a killer on the open market. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't these black colleges setting up programs where that's being done? I mean, this is simple stuff. Why aren't we producing cotton? That's your industry. Why aren't we into the cotton? I mean, make it make sense. How come we're not in the cotton? So if you go read these stories, I mean, the history, and this is what these youngsters are doing. Not only are they thinking, because this is something that they all agree that their parents and that their parents don't do. You don't think. They just tell you to do something. This one sister told me. She said she would ask her mother why she would do something. Her mother would say, because I said so. Yeah, but that's not telling me that. But what does that mean? And this is the kind of stuff that's dead. It ain't helping at all. Because I said so? Really? This where we are? Yeah. We're the information we give our kids. See, other people come here and they look at things the way they are in their time frame. So like the Chinese New Year is not 2020, is whatever their relationship with time is. The people from India, it's not 2020 in their year. It's 4,000 something, however they measure time. In the Arab world, it's 6,000 something. What time your clock say? Nobody told me. I don't know. I don't know. That's how we sound. That's how we sound. When you read these stories, when you read these stories, check out what the people are saying. It's another story in here, and this is how I want you guys to, these people who they put in front of you as celebrities and all that, who they, I mean, I can't believe that these people guide the thinking still of people. They had this cat, Snoop Dogg, talking. You won't even believe this. Jada Pinkett is giving Snoop Dogg advice. So this is what's going on, y'all, and this is especially for the brothers out there that are listening. You see, they're trying to pump this Dwayne Wade cat and his son want to be a girl. They giving this brother all this time. This is to all the brothers. This is what I mean. They own us. And if you own with them, helping get on this, you about to get embarrassed. Trying to make these dudes women, especially when the world is saying, get them niggas, and you trying to have brother run around in heels and in lipsticks and in skirts and in all that other stuff, that ain't gonna work, homie. That's not gonna work. You have Jada Pinkett, whose kids are both, I don't know what happened to them, talking to Snoop Dogg like he's a little boy. And not to say he's not. This is what is coming at you, brother. This is what's coming down the pike for you. I hope you're strong enough to withstand it, because it's coming from all sides. Snoop Dogg is in no position to tell nobody anything, to say anything, to even speak how he talked about women in his songs when he was coming up, and never apologized. Jada Pinkett is in no position to tell anybody anything. So notice these people that they're trying to come up to speak for you, because these people have no moral compass to speak to you. And it's going to make you look even more dumb when these people try to get up and speak for you, and they have no right. The rest of the world is going to be, who are these people to tell these other people what to do, and what kind of idiots are these people listening to them? This is how the world looks at us. This is how the world looks at us. But these stories that are being put out, these things that people are finding, these stories that people are putting out and asking, these people are going back and looking in dictionaries. These brothers and sisters are pulling up 200 and 300-year-old dictionaries and breaking down the words, breaking down what did black mean before it got to us. How was that used in the people who came up with that word history? How did it come through history with them? What does it mean? Did you call yourself black? No. Somebody came here and called you that. And one of the words for black, before they started using it as black, one of the words for black was blah. Blah. That's what they're saying when they say you. You can tell when they say black people. The way they talk down in their throat saying black people. These are the things we got to pick up, y'all. These are the things we got to know. We can't be sending these kids out here naked. We can't be sending these kids out here not knowing nothing. Don't work like that. Because if we keep on doing it, when they come back and ask you why, you better have an answer. You better have an answer. So get over there to African Americans Ain't African and check out those stories and, really start questioning what's going on around you. Because it's not to edify you. Like the sister said, why are all these foreigners over here? Why are they opening up their own foreign markets? You can't open yours, but you go support them. Why? See, this is what you should ask Negroes. Start getting into people's heads. See what they thinking about. How can you do that? I know brothers that do it and they think they got it going on. They can do whatever they want to do. You don't tell me what to do with my brother. I don't tell you what to do with your money. You do whatever you want to with it. I just want to know why. They so embarrassed they can't even say why. Are you serious? And you see this going on in the community too. See, that's where the civil rights, they look bad now because I talk to a lot of them. They're embarrassed. And when you press them, they will tell you the truth. That civil rights shit was some bullshit from the jump. It started out like that. It wasn't meant to do anything but to put you in the situation where you're in now. And you went for it. The civil rights movement. And these cats today, they still, and when you ask them, well, how did the civil rights movement, why should that be glorified, and why should we talk about the civil rights movement, and why should we pass that history down? Why? And nobody has an answer yet. See, that's how you know that they full of it. Just ask them, well, why? What has the civil rights, what has it done? I mean, what can we take away from it that was good? We didn't get our schools didn't get any better. You can tell from the last story, we don't get good food. Our life expectancy was what? Probably cutting a third at least. You come down south, people living to be 100 all day, every day. We ran in these cities, our life expectancy was cut at least 30 years working on these jobs, working in these factories. We don't care. We don't, it's cool. So I know it's Sunday night, Monday morning. Everybody got to get up and go to work tomorrow, whatever. Get over to African Americans Ain't Africans on Facebook and check out some of the stories that the people put, because that's what I'm starting to post now, because this is what I ask everybody. What do you say? I know many of us like to act like we don't have a voice, and if you don't have one, that's cool. Don't say nothing. But many of you know you have a voice and you got something to say. So listen, if it makes sense, all we telling the population is this. The people who you call African American, the people who you call black, the people you call Negro, the people you call colored, they're the people that America birthed. They're the indigenous people from America. That's all I'm saying. I know you want to argue and fuss and all that other bullshit. You can go ahead and do that. The people who call themselves Hebrew Israelite, Greeks, Christian, Muslim, Moor, Let them have that. Let them have that. Let them walk away from their inheritance if they want to. Matter of fact, I would give them a hand. You guys have a good night. We're going to see you next time. Peace.